getting cold out here. I don't know how good the reception is being out here. But we all know there are times when we just have to sit outside. Before going in the house. So anyways, I wanted to get on and remind everyone about the Fright Night that's coming up October 26th, which is next Saturday. It's going to be at Pan-African Connection in Dallas. And we're going to talk about nightmares and flashbacks and night terrors and how to deal with those issues. Another thing I wanted to talk about, because I rarely get on Facebook Live because I'm always at work, or either at work or sleeping to go to work. So I wanted to get on to encourage everyone who hears my voice or sees my posts or is connected to someone who hears or sees me, that it's okay for you to heal at your own pace. It's okay for you to go through your own processes, and it's okay for you to take as long as you need. Oftentimes people who are on the outside love to give their opinions about how a person should react or how a person should respond to a particular trauma. I was watching a movie. It's called Unbelievable on Netflix. It's actually a series that I would suggest everybody watch. And in there, the girl was put in the foster system, and sorry, I'm getting a little chilled. She was put in the foster system, and the two foster moms had also been sexually assaulted. However, the girl who's the main character, Marie, she had been through so many different traumas that she was now in complicated Sorry, somebody just called me. Anyway, she was in complicated PTSD. So in complicated PTSD, it's when you have one trauma after another. It's like repeated trauma. So your body nor mind never acclimate to being calm again, to being in a state of your parasympathetic nervous system being in control. And so when she was sexually assaulted, she didn't have the same response as the two foster moms. So because she didn't have the same response as they had, one of the foster moms told the detective that she didn't really believe her, or that she suspected that the girl was lying because she didn't act the way that the foster mom had acted when she was sexually assaulted. So I say that to say that not everyone is going to respond the same to trauma. Even though I was sexually assaulted and you were sexually assaulted, does not mean we're going to have the same response. Even though I went through a domestic violence or interpersonal violence relationship and you went through one, does not mean that we're going to have the same response. I may have gotten out, you may have stayed. I may have believed him when he said he was going to kill me, you may not. I may have never got beaten and you may have. But it's still trauma all the same, and it's still individualized. And because it's individualized, the healing process is too. Because most people don't just have one trauma in their lives. Someone passing away is a trauma to some people. I was a young girl. I don't even think I was in school yet. And I used to stay with my great-grandmother. And we were together every day. I went to the center with her. Didn't find out until a few months ago that she was an Eastern Star. But I would go and hang out with all of the elders. They had games there for me to play while they sat and talked or sewed or crocheted or whatever. And I was there when she transitioned. I still remember sitting on the sofa looking out the window and seeing her lying on the ground with blood coming from her nose. That was a trauma for me. The other people who experienced it, they weren't there, but it still was a trauma for them, but it was a different trauma. They may have been traumatized because they weren't there. It was a trauma to me because I lost someone who I felt really cared about me. Someone who would get up in the mornings and start a fire in the wood-burning stove before I got up so that the front room of the house would be warm. Someone who taught me how to weed a garden, taught me how to kill snakes. Someone who would sneak me coffee and snuff when my auntie was gone to work. And, someone who taught me how to fish. Someone who taught me how to cook. And so that was a trauma for me. On the other hand, my grandmother, all of my cousins grew up around my grandmother, but I didn't. And so it's a bit traumatic for me that they have all these wonderful memories about our grandmother. And my memories are about being there in her latter years. I was there to talk to her when she couldn't talk. I was there to take care of her when she was on dialysis. I was her nurse. And the day that she died, I was her nurse. And I had left for my shift. She waited until I left, and then she passed away. And although I was there at the end, just like I am with most people, it was still a bit traumatizing because I don't have those memories of my grandmother that I wanted to have. So my process of dealing with that may be to be around elderly people. Someone else's process may be, because they have those memories, to just sit up and laugh and talk about the things that Mother used to do, I have a lot of back-to-back traumas by people who meant a lot to me. And they're not all people who were like people who transitioned. It was someone who I considered a father standing up before a room full of people, telling them that he had no idea about a situation that he had instructed me to do something in. And then when I did it, he acted like he didn't know anything about it and said that if I had did that, then I needed to correct it. And he did this in front of everyone. And I felt really betrayed and abandoned and surprised or shocked. I felt really shocked. because I felt like if no one else had my back, that person did. And then to find out that they didn't was really traumatizing. So anyway, long story short, you will find yourself amongst many people who have had repeated traumas. Much of that trauma is from interpersonal violence, from sexual assault, from mental abuse, financial abuse. And for those of you who don't know what financial abuse is, it's when you're with someone and they don't allow you to have control over your money. They may or may not allow you to deposit your money into your own bank account. They may give you an allowance of your own money. They may not give you any money. They may say, oh, I'll take care of it, and they buy you everything that you need, but never give you any free money, any money that's yours. Everything belongs to them. They may have cars, houses, bills, everything in their name, nothing in your name, which means if you ever try to leave them, it's very difficult because you have no credit. You have no rental history. You have nothing in your name. That's financial abuse. So when you add all of that up, everybody has had a trauma, and everybody is going to deal with it their own way. And it is really up to us to decide that we are going to allow people to deal with their trauma in their own way, allow them to heal at their own rate. That being said, I ask that you allow me to heal at my own rate. I have my own traumas. I have my own disappointments. And the reason that I do what I do is because I have those traumas and I have those disappointments. And people talk about me, and I hear it because I don't know why people haven't realized this, but this is a very small world, and people are very connected. And so when you have someone that talks about you negatively, trust me, it's going to get back to them. And so I know that people who smile in my face are also talking about me behind my back because of my traumas. And that's okay, because you're just giving me the momentum that I need to keep pushing, to keep doing what I'm doing. Yes, there are days that I feel like I should just throw in the towel. And then as soon as I do, someone else texts me or calls me or inboxes me saying that they have been sexually assaulted. How can I get in contact with you to go to a support group? Or how can I volunteer for your organization? Or how can I get this resource? Or how can I help this person? So that is my life's purpose. And I refuse to walk away from that based upon what somebody says. Because if I walked away every time someone said something about me, I would not be here right now. Yes, I cry. Yes, I hurt. Yes, I scream. Yes, I get angry. Yes, I get happy. Yes, I need to be away from people at times. Yes, I have complicated PTSD. I was diagnosed a long time ago. Yes, I deal with depression. Yes, I deal with anxiety. Yes, I do things and I believe in ways that other people don't. Yes, I do what makes me feel good, what makes me feel happy. Yes, I raise my children differently. Yes, I raise them to be free. And yes, I am still Foxy's I Speak. Because that's the essence of it. We don't run away from our traumas. We face them. We deal with them. We share them so that everybody heals. That's how you break the cycles. Didn't mean to get on here that long. Sorry, y'all know how I am. This is why I don't do Facebook Live, because I get to chattering. But those of you who watch, I appreciate it. Those of you who share, I appreciate it. Those of you who volunteer and attend the events, I appreciate it. Those of you who inbox me, text me, call me, thank you for your trust. I love you all. I've got to go make some Dorito casserole before somebody gets really upset with me. And then I'm going to see what I can do for me tonight. That's what you have to do. You have to find things that make you feel recharged. That's what my sister said. She said recharged. So I have to go recharged because I'm in a really, I'm in a down spot. And that is normal and that is okay. So I'm going to recharge and I will see y'all tomorrow. Oh my gosh, tomorrow is our support group meeting from 10 to 12 at Meadows Conference Center in Dallas, 2900 Live Oak. Sorry, y'all. I have to look around because that's that damn PTSD. You got to be aware of your surroundings at all times. So I can see behind me, but I have to keep an eye out on front of me. But it's at Meadows Conference Center tomorrow, 2900 Live Oak in Dallas from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then the following Saturday night will be Fright Night. And we will have a panel discussion. We will have different kinds of workstations for the children and, of course, bags of candy for treats. We will talk about nightmares, night terrors, flashbacks, how we deal with those, what those are, dreams, understanding your dreams. So if you have questions or you have a dream, bring it and we'll talk about it and we'll see what we can do to help people continue to heal. I love you and I love you too, Anika. I love you all and be gentle with your healing because I am. Thank you.